Okay, let's see here. Somehow I feel like we've done that. Oh, no, we haven't. Okay, cool. All right, so, yeah, right. So, question of the day then is, what place have you heard of that you would like to visit? This can be some place that you think you've heard of in Waterdeep. Doesn't have to be canonical. I don't care if you heard of some cool thing in Waterdeep that you want to check out that you made up off the top of your head, whatever. Or if it's something outside of Waterdeep that you want to visit someday. Whatever you want. Go wild. Hi, Pumpkin. Coming up.
That would require me to know anything about geography.
Like I said, you can make something up. Like if
I hear that in the deepest underground, they have these matches where they grease up goblins and gnomes and make them wrestle. And I've always wanted to see it in person, but I just haven't had the chance. I've seen some interesting fights, but greased up little people wrestling is something that's still on my bucket list.
oh, that's great. Jinku's there. What kind of place have you heard of that you want to see someday?
Well, I mean, Jinku's a lot of places, but she's heard there's this restaurant. They will put cheese sauce on anything you want. And a little cheese sauce, a lot of cheese sauce on anything you want.
I like it.
She's no though. She's just heard of it. She don't know the name it's at.
That's great. All right. How about you, Sarah?
Um, Sarah doesn't know if it's real or not, but she has to imagine that there's an island out there, just, completely self-sustaining and away from all society that she could live on for the rest of her life and never have to see another person ever. She thinks that sounds pretty great.
All right.
Oh, sounds kind of sad.
Jinku's like, ooh, I'll come too. And I'll bring the cats.
We'll have so many cats.
Just
I'm
a cat
assuming
island.
At this point, there's so many cats up in Jinku's room that you guys know about.
Oh, that's great.
Jinku just constantly has her window open
Hey,
so
Danny
that
Pants, welcome.
the cats can come in and out as they please.
There's just like inch rope bridges and stuff. They can come up to her room.
She has like shelves and tubes nailed up, haphazardly all along the walls for them to sleep on in like layers.
Yes.
Oh God.
There's nothing in that room like for Jinku. She sleeps in a pile of blankets on the floor.
In the middle of the floor.
Yes.
That's great.
That is official canon.
All right. So I know it has been a while, and are there any details anyone remembers at all from what happened last time at all?
I do remember us as a castle lantern and like
Okay.
telling what we found out about their son. That's for
Yes.
that.
Yes. Yeah, you did. Um, so yeah, that was like the first bit there. You guys did head over to the Castellanter Villa, kind of let them know, what happened down on the south end of town with the weird cart and stuff, and that you found out, what happened to their eldest son that had disappeared, or well, had been taken quite some time ago, and relayed that fun news to them. And then you had also had kind of a lead from Mert about uh, Xanathar and trying to find a way to get into his place, since it seems like, at least from the intel that you've had, that the last piece of this artifact that you're trying to put together, he has somewhere in his lair, supposedly. At least one would think that's where he has it. So, you guys went down to the dock ward to kind of poke around and see if there was any sort of contacts you could get. Because, like, you've had some dealings with the Xanathars down around there before. And you guys went to Skewer Dragon, which was the a bar that you guys had been to quite a long time ago. Ran into Volo while you were there, since this is kind of the dive bar that he likes to hang out in, as well as Floon, the guy you rescued way back when. And you took a little bit of information because you were asking about, like, you've heard that there's some sort of, like, maybe more exclusive fight ring of some sort that Xanathar seems to run. Um, kind of related to the ones that you got involved in before, but like they're a little more picky somehow. And you had a name, at least, that you'd heard, that there is some bugbearer named Gan who works, somewhere around in the dock ward. You don't. That's all you really know, is just the name, and that he works in the docks somewhere. But that he might be someone worth talking um, to see if you can find an inn to this special fight ring, and go from there, and see what you can see what you can scope out from there, I guess. So
Another fight ring.
uh supposedly, yeah. That's the information that Mert had given you.
I didn't like the last one.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I think Boo and Torta were the only ones that liked the last one.
Yeah, I got there.
Yeah. It at least seems to be some way to get in the door, whether or not you end up being involved with it or not. That right now you're trying to just find a way in the door, because nobody seems to really know how to get into wherever Xanathar has his stuff. It's all pretty on the down low, but this seems, at least, a somewhat promising way to get in without too much effort, and then you can, poke around. or try to poke around, see what you can find out. So yeah, that's where we left off. We left off pretty much in that bar, the Skewer Dragon, down the dock ward, and all we got to name. Also, hi Balor, saw you joined. Welcome.
Yeah,
You just
sorry.
snuck right in there.
No worries, you're good.
I hopped on as soon as I got home from work, man.
No worries. Well, actually, since we're right near the start, and this was kind of a fun question. The question that we had today was, what is a place that you have heard of that you want to visit? And like I told them, this can be something that you make up off the top of your head right now, or someplace you have actually heard of in Waterdeep or not. But if there is some place you think you've heard of, or that Mix has heard of, that he has been interested to see at some point.
The lands north of Waterdeep, where the barbarians live. What's that called?
Well, I mean, the whole area is just called. This chunk of the continent's all like Sword Coast, Faerun. North would be up towards like
10
Never.
towns.
Yeah, that'd be 10 towns would be way north. Neverwinter would be kind of the next big thing north on the
I
coast.
remember reading in a fantasy novel, so this is something Mix would know.
Okay.
About an ice castle up there
Okay.
that supposedly has a dragon in it, and I'd really like to go visit that.
Nice. Okay.
Maybe find a dragon egg and hatch it so I can have a dragon familiar.
There you go. There you go. All right. Cool. Let me just get my note thing back up here and let's see. Mix. There we go. Okay. All right. So yeah. So you're hanging out in the bar. Things are. I mean, it's kind of early evening-ish here at the moment. And you guys have been chatting up with Volo. He's a little tipsy. Hanging out with Floon, having some drinks.
Like he was a lot of tipsy.
He might have been a lot of tipsy. That's true. But yeah, I mean, you seem to have gotten kind of acclimated to the atmosphere here. It's maybe not quite as classy of a place as Troll Skull is, but it works. It's got its charms for having a hole in the roof. The bartender's kind of looking over at you all with kind of a look in his eye, wondering if you're going to buy another drink of what was pretty horrible piss water, but coin's coin.
Well, I'm always down for another round. Even if it does taste like mixed smells.
Barkeep, another round.
All right. You toss a couple coppers over to the barkeep, and he draws up a few more mugs for you all. You guys are. A couple of you are kind of sitting up on the bar, just kind of along next to Volo and Floon. Volo seems to be kind of having a conversation with Floon. It's well, as much as you can call it a conversation. They're both pretty deep in at the moment, so it's more of a exchanging of letters, sounds between the two of them, with some laughter in between now and then. But you sip your drinks. They still don't really taste the best. Looking around the bar, a few other patrons have come in. You've got a fairly rough and tumble crew. I mean, you're in the dock wards. It's not really any different what you would expect. Everyone here looks kind of on the short end of the stick of life a bit, but weathered from work on the docks and in the shipping yards and things for Waterdeep, keeping things running.
Do we see anybody we like recognize at all that might be able to get us into these fights?
The only person you really recognize here is Volo and Floon, who told you the name of that bugbear. There aren't any bugbears in here currently. Most of the people that you see here, you have like a mix of some humans, some dwarves, a couple of kind of non-humanoid races. There's a couple of the why can't I think of the name of them? I was one. The Raven ones. Can't think of their name off the top of my head right now. A couple of them. Yeah, no bugbears. Yeah, aside from Volo kind of turning to you and maybe turning to you, Boo, and maybe kind of clapping a hand on your shoulder and spouting some supposedly words in your direction and laughing every now and then. Nobody else really seems to be paying attention to you guys. Like nobody's watching you. You don't see anybody eyeing you or anything at all. It's just people here trying to drown their day.
Well, what do you guys think? Should we try and see about finding this bugbear?
Might as well.
Yeah. You guys head out into the streets.
To the streets.
To the streets. All right. So, let's see. Where is my crap? Which segment was that? That was this one. No. South. No. Oh, wait. Yep. Oh, it would have been this one. Okay. So here is that chunk of town that you guys are in. Currently, you all are. If you zoom in, the Skewered Dragon is kind of right around Zastro Street and Phillip Lane. If you're looking at the map where it says like Southern Ward in big kind of overlaid white letters, is just to the left of that. There's Net Street and Phillip Lane above it. You're kind of in that block right there. So pretty close to the docks, a few blocks away. The area all around you guys step out of the bar. It's the evening. The lamps in the streets that aren't smashed. A fair number of them are kind of busted up and don't really light very well or at all. But the ones that do or can still do, and there's pools of light in the kind of in the twilight, spreading here and there as you look up and down the streets. Decent number of people still around. Most of them seem to be, kind of fellow dock workers or just people that kind of live in the area going about their business, returning home from whatever they were doing during the day. To the east of you, there's a fair bit of bustle still on the main way of the Dragon Road there. It's kind of one of the main courseways through the city. So you guys can kind of hear the sound of carts and hooves and things coming from that direction. But once you get off that main road, off into these kind of side streets in the dock ward, it calms down quite a bit.
Do we see any like we were told this bugbear was in this area, or are we just kind of wandering around looking for him randomly?
All you really know is that he just works on the docks. We don't really know much other information aside from just his name, that he's a bugbear and he works in the docks. In terms of stuff that you know is around here, I mean, there's the Purple Shop, which is basically right across the street from where you are standing right now. Another place that's in the area that you've been before is there was a bakery that you guys had been to a while ago that was kind of secretly in the back room connected to the Xanathar Guild. You guys had gone there a long time ago and met with Ott, the dwarf that you guys rescued from being tortured a long time ago with the knitted beholder hat. And that's that bakery is it's like 2 blocks to the west of here. I think that was over on like Prespo Lane, I think, if I remember correctly. But those are the only kind of other 2 notable places that you've been to down here that you recall.
Where do you guys think we should start looking first? Well, why don't we pop into this purple shop and ask if they sound familiar in there?
Okay.
I'll stay outside, thanks, but you feel free to go in.
All right. So across the street is the old Zoblob shop. Um, its door and everything that you can see in the window in front of it is kind of a nice royal purple color. There's a stuffed beholder that hangs in the front window, kind of peering out over the street. But the door is open, and some of you head inside. It sounds like not Zara, but do the rest of you head in there?
He wanted to sell me the last time I went in.
And you're not wrong. You are purple.
Yeah, I'll go in. What the hell?
All right. So the rest of you head in. Zara, you kind of hang by the door outside, and as you step in, um, you're kind of assaulted immediately by this kind of heady incense that seems to be burning in the place. Um, you kind of look around and you see that over on kind of the main counter is an incense stick that seems to be giving off these like wisps of purple smoke. It's it's very dense scent. Really hits you in the nose. Um, and much like last time you were here, all around are shelves stocked with oddities and curios, um, each one containing the color purple somewhere on it. and you see over behind the main kind of counter, kind of reclined in a almost kind of a little hammock of sorts, is a gnomish looking figure, and he kind of sits up and like hops down onto the counter as you guys come in and says, "Oh, hello. Oh, I remember you all. It's been a while, hasn't it? Couldn't stay away, could ya?
No,
Needed some more
it
purple in your life."
really did. Really did. Never have enough purple in my life.
"Well, you've come to the right place." And he kind of jumps down onto the ground, and he's kind of like wringing his hands together a little bit, being like, "So, anything in particular you're looking for today?"
Well, to be honest, looking for a couple things. I was hoping to find myself a new purple set of uh, cape pins. I
Hmm.
hear capes are really coming in this year.
Oh, are they now? Well, I think I do have some cape pins around here. Maybe I'll need to get a few more if they're coming back into style. And he kind of runs off down one of the aisles here. As best as you could call them aisles, things are pretty crowded in here. Like the shelves are full of stuff, and there's also kind of various boxes and crates of things that are kind of stacked precariously. Um, you kind of have to weave your way through some of these aisles. It's not too hard for him to get around. He's not very big, um, but for kind of regular human size, you have to kind of shimmy a little bit. But he kind of runs off down like an aisle. You see him on the other end of the shop, and he's kind of climbing up one of the shelves and kind of peering into some crates here and there. And you eventually hear him go, "Aha!" And he hears some kind of scrabbling noises as he digs through a crate. And eventually he comes back over to you, Boo, with a pin. It's got kind of a nice. Let's see here. Let's see what this looks like. Okay. So he comes back with this pin that is kind of an ornately carved. Um, it's most of a circle. There's kind of an opening on one side, and uh, this kind of thick moon shape is kind of flattened metal, and it's got these inlaid like weaving patterns on it. And at the end of each of these they're almost kind of like Celtic looking, kind of knot, Celtic knot looking patterns of sort that are on it. And at the end of each of them, there's a little inlaid stone that kind of shimmers. It's purple, of course. Um, and then, right through the middle of this, there's a kind of long pin that's fastened to it, that can be, popped in and out of the little holder that it's in, so you can slip it through and then pop it back in and pin the thing shut. Um, but it looks pretty nice. He kind of turns it over in his hand. He kind of holds it up for you, kind of spins it around a little bit so it catches the lights in here. Says, "This is what you're looking for? Should hold a cape good. Seems nice and sturdy." And he kind of pops the pin out and kind of pops it back into place.
I'll take it and hold it up and look at it and admire it. Kind of hold it between Mix and I as I'm looking at it, and I'll say, "It's beautiful. I'll take it. What do you want for it?"
Hmm. For that one, just a silver.
Perfect. I'm gonna bury you in this mix. It'll look great. So I'm also looking for a particular bugbear friend of mine
Nice
who
transition.
has some cufflinks that I was wanting to purchase. Um, they look like, and then I will describe what I know of them. Do you get many bugbears running around in here?
Well, not really in here. I would say it's it'd be a little difficult for them to get around in here without disturbing the merchandise too much. um, Not that they're not welcome, of course, but uh, I'd probably have to do a little rearranging if we saw bugbear customers more frequently. But there are some around the dock wards that I see sometimes. Oh, said it was a friend of yours?
Yeah, I wanted to meet up with him and, advance my underground fighting skills. We're known as the businessmen. I don't know if you've heard of us, but we're up and coming.
Businessman. I can't say I've heard. Can't say I've heard of you, but fighting's what you're looking for. You might want to try uh, the docks that are kind of the docks that are south of here. Uh, if I remember right, there's like a kind of an older bugbear, or at least he looks it. Very, very, very hairy guy, big beard, real big beard. Um, I feel like I remember hearing that there was some fight, or he was in a fight, or won some fight. I don't really know. Uh, but I think you think he works on the dock south of here somewhere.
Okay, okay. That works, that works. We'll go take a look. I appreciate your helpful insight, and this pin will look great on my good enemy here.
I'm certain it will. It's purple, of course. Looks good on everybody.
Yes, it does.
He kind of looks up at the other two of you in here, Jinku and Mix, and he's like, "You two looking for anything in particular? Just the pin for today."
No.
Well, I'm looking for something, but it's not in your shop, sir.
Oh. Well, if there's a purple version of it, then maybe I'll have it at some point.
Do you have a purple trestle?
A purple what?
It's basically a flying cat. Do you have a purple one?
Hmm. I'm afraid to say I don't really have any sort of live creatures here. As much as I would like to, gets a little tricky with the permits from the city to have live animals for sale. I mean, they don't really come down around here and check much, but cats. I'm not a very big guy, so I don't know if I'd want to have one around. All the stuff here is dead.
Well, figured I could ask.
You want a cat? I got cats at home.
No, I want a tressum. It's a magical flying cat. I need a new familiar. Mine's dead.
You guys and your magical shit.
Whoa. The magic between him and I is very, very different. One of us actually has to try to do this. One of us.
Pinku has
doesn't.
already walked out. She is completely lost in anticipation.
Oh, I'll keep going. Like, this is probably a spiel I've done like a dozen times.
This is the soapbox that Boo is ready to die on.
Yes, it is. No one even be listening. He will go through the entire thing.
I'll look at Jinky and be like, at least I don't want a flying monkey. Completely ignoring Boo.
Naturally, of course. All right. So you guys all head back out into the street. Zai, you're kind of hanging out on the street here, leaning up against the wall. Nothing too notable happening outside while the three of them are in there. Even out here, as they kind of went into the door, you're kind of being hit by this kind of heady incense as well, even just being outside the door. But you see your friends coming back out. Boo clutching a little shiny pin, little purple stones. All
Well,
right.
I guess we got to go to the docks, guys.
Did you find any information in there?
Yeah, they mentioned. Well, they couldn't fit bugbears in there, which makes sense now that I actually think about it. But we would probably find them and this big bearded bastard. You know how beards are just the best. Oh, I wish I could grow one. Anyway, we gotta find this big bearded bastard down there that probably help us out.
All right. So do you guys just kind of get onto Net Street there and just kind of head down towards the dock, the kind of the coast of the harbor area?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, you guys kind of make your way down. You kind of through. You kind of cross through the back alleyway by the skewered dragon there, and kind of pop out on the other side of the block onto Net Street. You know, somewhat, little bit more larger of a street in this area. Um, it's very well worn with kind of cart ruts. This seems to be kind of the way where a lot of um, shipped goods being unloaded from some of the docks come up and then pop onto the main thoroughfare to go elsewhere in the city. But you kind of make your way down. The closer you get to the docks, the more like the less residential it looks. Like the last block or so right before the docks. Not really much in the way of things that look like houses at all. Most of these buildings down here are all seem to be storage related type facilities. Most of them are fairly dark, um, and the alleyways in between them are all fairly dark as well. Not a lot of traffic down around here right now. And as you get to the end of the street and reach the coast, the water lapping here against the kind of retaining wall that they've built up here, and the road kind of turns, goes up to some docks toward the north, and you can also see um, a kind of a set of 3 docks jutting out in front of you here, and looking down to the south, kind of southeast here, you can see some other docks as well down that way, all with a variety of boats. One thing you do notice down here as you kind of look up the coast to the north, there's a set of docks about 7 or 8 blocks ish up the coast, which were some docks that you remember from quite some time ago, and a couple of ships that you also remember from quite some time ago. Ships full of drow that you
Nope.
had an encounter with quite a long time ago that still seem to be parked here. Said they're a good ways away. They're kind of cross up the harbor a ways from where you guys are. Like you didn't like just walk in the middle of them at all. But you do notice those, um, and are kind of surprised a little that they are still here. Because last that you knew, um, they were here as part of the festival that had occurred a while ago. That went on up in the market square, if you recall, with all the floats and things. It was like the early summer festival that happened. There were all these kind of magical floats and things. Um, you guys were there, got up to some shenanigans, but um, last that you knew, they were some sort of troop that was here for that, and that was at least a good several weeks ago. Um, and so, given that, and given your odd run-ins with them at the um, uh, fuck the manor where you did not kill a noble, allegedly, um, among other things, it strikes you as odd that they are still here. You'd think they would have moved on if the festival is over. But here you stand on the coast. There's a couple of fishing boats in the docks here in front of you. There's a couple of boats also in the docks to the southeast. Doesn't really seem to be too much activity on these docks right here. Um, Zoblob in the Zoblob shop had mentioned the ones to the south. And the ones to the south seem to be the one farther down the coast a ways, to your southeast of where you are right now.
Well, let's head down towards those ones. See if we can find this dude.
All right. Okay. So you head down the coast, kind of weave through some of these storage facilities and things that are down here, and eventually make your way to this little set of docks to the southeast. It seems like this is like the last little chunk of docks uh, in Waterdeep proper. Like looking past here, you see there's like a few more storage buildings, and then kind of a few more residential type buildings, and there's a small beach, and then you can see the wall around Waterdeep in the distance down below, and the kind of entrance or the opening in it across the bay where ships go in and out. But this is the last dock on the southern side of town. And as you guys walk up here, um, you see a few dock workers around. Not really doing much work this time of night. There's a small boat or two parked in the docks, and you see a pair of, at least by their clothing, dock workers here, sitting on some crates by a boat, kind of sharing a pint with each other here on the coast. One of them looks to be human. The other one looks to be kind of a older looking um, tiefling male. But they're just, you see them chilling on some crates, like partway out onto the dock.
I'll holler at him and say, hey, how's it going, my fine blue-collared friends?
Well enough. What's it to you? What's your business?
Fighting's my business, and business is, of course, also my business. You may have heard of me. I'm a businessman.
Smooth. Real smooth. They kind of stare at you, somewhat confused.
Rocky!
Hey, Rocky, how's it going?
What's up?
Welcome, welcome. So they kind of stare at you, not really understanding what you're getting at with this businessman line. They're like, well, I mean, if you're looking for a fight, like, I've done enough work today. I'm not looking for a fight if that's what you want.
Well, that is what I want. I'm looking for a fight, but not with you, my friend. I'm looking for a couple particular individuals who may or may not be able to assist me into winning this championship belt that I've been looking to get. Basically, to prove in yet another facet of life that I am awesome and superior to this douche canoe. And I'll thumb over it, Mix. Anyway, so one of them I'm looking for is this bugbear. And I'll describe the bugbear.
Okay.
And then the guy that Zolbob was telling us about with beard.
And so one of the dock workers here, he kind of like leans back and forth for a second, and he says, "Well, sounds like you're looking. Those two people you're looking for sound like the same person to me. Sounds like you're looking for Gon. Big beardy bastard."
I love me a big, beautiful, bearded, bastardly bugbear. Where can I find him?
Well, probably over in the storage building over yonder. He's probably still just finishing up his work for the day. And he kind of points. He kind of points back along the dock behind you. There's like a storage building up there. You see like the kind of large cargo door on it is open. There's kind of some faint light from inside, but seems to indicate that the guy you're looking for is in there.
I appreciate it. I'll remember you when I'm at the top doing business.
Well, you do that. Would that we all see some success in our lives. He takes a chug of his pint.
I'll head over to this storehouse they pointed us out to.
All right. So you head back up the dock and to this storehouse with the open cargo bay door. And looking inside, you can see that there's a kind of variety of fairly neatly stacked wooden crates of things, all kind of in groups around the area. There's kind of only one light in here. There's like a kind of lantern mounted on the wall Like walking in, through the cargo door, like the wall, directly to your left behind you, there's like this lantern that's kind of mounted on the wall. Sputtering a bit makes the light flicker. And that's about all you got. You get, looking back into this building, it doesn't take too far before you're kind of into the shadows outside of this lantern. But you see, maybe at least halfway back, um, kind of a large shadowy shape. Looks to be carrying a box, facing the other direction. You see him kind of moving down between some of these piles. You hear kind of some grunts as he's hefting this thing.
I'll wait until it finishes and then holler out at him.
Okay. So you kind of watch this kind of shadowy outline back here, and you see him kind of heft the box up and set it up on top of some stack back there. And you kind of see the shadow kind of turn around and start heading back towards the cargo bay door. And as he kind of gets a little close, you see him kind of stop for a moment, seeing you all just kind of standing here suddenly in the cargo bay door. He's kind of standing there with his kind of arms kind of out either of his sides, almost in kind of a readied position. He doesn't seem to really know what to make of the situation. Can't really make him out super well yet with the cruddy light, but you kind of hear this voice. What? What are you doing here?
Same thing I'm always doing. Business. As to who we are, I'll kind of step forward with a flourish and I'll motion to Torta to kind of flourish with me and I'll say, we're the businessmen. You might have heard of us. Well, now we're back. New and improved version 2.0 with 5 extra arms.
So this figure kind of takes a couple steps forward, kind of more into the light here, and you see this guy. There he is, and he kind of steps into the lantern light here, and it kind of like towering over you, Boo and Tortum. And he kind of looks down at you two, kind of standing there at your little flourish. And he's like, you think 5 arms are going to be enough? And he kind of, you see him, you see like the muscles on both of his arms kind of ripple a little bit. They're huge. Like he could easily like stuff you and Torta like into each bicep. You'd fit in there. You'd fit in his upper arms. Both of you would.
No, 5 arms wouldn't be enough. That's why I said 5 extra arms.
And of course, Torta's like bristling back, right? Like flexing back at him.
Next is just gonna grab his blow dart gun and a pistol out of his robes and say, which one do you think would hurt the worst?
So this guy kind of sees you reaching for stuff in your pockets here, and he's like, hey now, you just come here out of the blue looking to do some violence, or what the hell? I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of you before.
I mean, yeah, kind of. That's what we do, allegedly. Anyway, we wouldn't want to do violence on you, but honestly, what we're looking for is to be able to, get these urges out in an organized fashion. Purge them, if you will. If only we could do that maybe one night a year in public, life would be better, but we can't, so we have to find a ring to do it in.
Not in this universe.
we had a normal life.
Sometimes. All I'm saying is that Cat Sanctuary Island sounds really good.
It's not too late. We can leave now and go do their thing.
As soon as I say cat sanctuary, Mix is gonna turn around and be like, do you think they'll have chessums? I really want a flying cat that can taste poison. Because I'm worried about what Boo's gonna do.
If there's any place that
Nick,
has a magical
saved his
flying
life.
cat, it would be a cat sanctuary island in the middle of the sea.
But it has to be a trestle. It's a magical
Exactly. If
Magic.
anywhere's gonna have a tressum, it would be our cat sanctuary island of our dreams.
We're wildly off subject.
Why are we talking about a cat island? Let's get to business. Are we gonna beat this guy up?
Well,
So-
I don't know. Maybe not here. Gone. Like I said, we're the businessmen. We're looking to do business in a ring. You know of anything like that?
And he
No,
kind
do
of,
you-
Gon kind of crosses his arms here. It's almost a little like awkward as he there's a lot of arm to cross, so it almost takes a little bit of effort to be like, and like get the arms like into each other to cross his arms. He says, depends on who's asking. You're not with the city, are you? Got any proof you're not?
He's been in jail. Look at it. Look at him.
Yeah.
Jesus.
See, I got this tattoo under my eye for allegedly, not allegedly, maybe. Okay, I'll be honest with you. I killed a family.
Mix is just gonna pull out one of his Joe poison darts and say, "Hold out your hand. Just don't poke yourself with this."
I'll point at the tattoo on my forehead and say, "Don't worry about that guy back there."
So he kind of looks over your little tattoo there, Boo, and you kind of hear what sounds like kind of a low chuckle almost out of the guy, and he kind of has a glance over at your hand there, Mix, holding out that Dro dart there. He says, "Well, it may not be a lot, but sure, that's good enough. City guard is low, but they don't really stoop to using Dro darts yet, I hope. Be
I
a
have
new
a
low for
Dro-
them."
I have a Joe poison pistol too. Here.
So, he undoes his arms and they kind of hang back at his sides here and says, "So, looking to get in the ring. How did you find out about it? Who's your contact?"
What's that nut job's name from the Xanathar?
Ott, the guy with
Ott,
the guy with the
yeah.
hat. Yeah, that's Ott.
Ott told us about this fighting ring and said we might be able to work our urges out.
And like you see him, you see him almost like relax a little bit at the mention of that name. Ott, he says. Ott's a good one. He can be a little weird, but he's a good one. I like Ott. Well, if you know Ott, then well, perhaps we can work something out here. I have some connections. And he kind of flexes. You can see his arms kind of flex a little bit. I have a bit of a name for myself. Normally you have to work your way up through some of the other rings in the area, if you get my drift, to get a chance to fight in the big one. But if Ott's okay with it, if Ott told you about it, then perhaps I can pull a string or two, or a head or two, and get you in a little quicker. But you're gonna have to prove that the show's gonna be worth the work. Can't just be letting anybody in there in the big ring and not have them put on a good show for the boss, you understand?
Instinctively, Torta pops his arms out and does the Torta smash. Jumps 25 feet up and comes back down in front of him, full flexed.
You know, you see his eyebrows kind of raise a little bit, and he says, "Well, that's certainly along the lines of what I'm thinking of. But we'll need a little more than that. Come, follow me." And he kind of walks past you all, out the front door of the storehouse here, and kind of out into the kind of open area on the edge of the docks here. And he kind of stands out in the middle of this open area, kind of raises a hand in your direction, kind of beckons at you all to follow him.
Careful.
Okay. Alright. So, let's see here. Alright. Oops. Alright, so Gon's standing like right there in the middle of this area. And he kind of motions to, you all to come out. You guys kind of head over here. And he's kind of looking over all of you here and says, "It's just the two of yous that are wanting to fight, to get into the ring."
I mean, we are the best too.
Alright. And he kind of heads over to some of the crates nearby, kind of grabs this long pole, and walks back into like the center of this area, which this whole kind of chunk of the docks here, it's like all kind of paved with stone, but there's like a lot of dirt like all over this stone, from carts and horses and things. He takes this long pole that he's grabbed and kind of goes back to his spot in the middle there, kind of whirls it around himself, and draws like a 10-foot or a 20-foot circle around him with this. It seems like some sort of like ore or something in the dirt. And he says, "You two, 1-on-1 versus me. Contest of strength. No funny business. This is strictly strength. We're going to stand against each other here in this ring and try to push each other out. You push me out, I'll consider letting you guys in."
Do you two want me to help?
He, as you say this, Mix, he's like, 1-on-1. And he points at Torda and he points at Boo and he says, "You two are the fighters. Which one of you wants to be the one to stand for yourselves?"
Tortoise instantly like standing up, ready to go.
Yeah, Boo would probably be hesitant here because he's not strong at all.
He's the flashy elements of the businessman.
I could blow that guy halfway across these docks with one spell.
All right, so
That's not strength.
yeah, as you guys are kind of talking amongst yourselves here, he's like, "No magic, no funny business, strictly muscles. That's what we're looking for here."
I'll
And-
step up in front of him.
All right, so you kind of step up here, and he's kind of looking down at you, Torta, here, and he says, "Can't say I've seen many of your like before. What are you, Frogman?"
I'm a grung.
Grung. They
As
got.
he's talking, I'm gonna launch like right into him, start to push him.
All right. So you kind of go right for him, kind of grappling up against his arms here, pushing him back as he's questioning you here. He kind of lets out this little laugh and says, "Oh, starting right off, I see. All right." And immediately you kind of feel him pushing back against you here. Torta, I'm going to need you to roll me a athletics check. All right. So you're you kind of catch him a little bit off guard, and you manage to push him back 5 feet from the center of this 20-foot wide circle. So you're 5 feet from his edge, and he's kind of bracing against you here. From your kind of little surprise lunge. He says, "Well, certainly got some strength in you there." And you kind of feel him, pull back a little bit and try to heave into you here. Go ahead and roll me up another athletics check. All right, doing good, Tortum. So as you kind of feel him, kind of bracing his muscles in your direction here, Tortum, you manage to counter that pretty deftly and slide him back across these kind of dusty stones another 5 feet, right to the edge of the circle here. And he says, "Well, you've got some fight in you there. I think this could make a good show, but it's not over yet." And you feel him once again kind of coming at you here. Go ahead and roll me another one, Torta. All right. So, Torta, as you kind of come in to do the last push here across the edge, he kind of deftly turns his body as you lunge in with this last strike, and you manage to catch yourself. You don't go flying out of the circle yourself, but he kind of he clips you on the shoulder with kind of an open palm, and knocks you back 5 feet away from himself, countering your move there. and he kind of moves back up into the circle and 5 feet away from the edge. Kind of push you back, or to kind of begin the strength contesting here. Doing kind of sumo rules here.
Torto's just laughing. Like, he's on a playground right now.
All right. So yeah, do you still have like your arms out right now during all this, or are you just doing this with your
Oh, yeah.
with your regular arms?
Oh no.
Okay.
They're still out.
They're still out. Okay. All right. So if you if you want to try to like do some kind of counter on him, um, you can. What you'll want to roll for that, if you do, is just roll like an unarmed strike for me. If you're wanting to do some kind of counter, and we'll like I'll take some stuff away from his like roll if that meets his like AC for this. You're just doing like kind of open palm like bops. Oop. Well, that wasn't an attack at Zara, but that did meet his AC there. So like as you feel him kind of bristling in here, like you feel his hands are huge, much bigger than yours, and you kind of feel another kind of move coming in here, and just as he's about to push back at you, you counter with your unarmed strike. One of your arms that's out here kind of clocks him on the shoulder, counters him, pushes him backwards. He's once again at the edge here. You move in. So he's got him on the edge of the ring toward him. One more straight strength test, or are you going to try to do some kind of counter move, try to get him out?
Yeah, we're gonna do another, I guess, athletics. I mean, straight on.
Okay.
Frog spring right into his guts.
All right, roll it up. Very nice. He rolled like shit that time. So with that last like lunge here, like your kind of ethereal fist, kind of along with your own, managed to shove him backwards, and he's like fighting against you the whole way. Like you can feel him. It's like moving a wall. But his feet managed to get outside of this kind of dust, of this dirt ring he's described in the ground. And as soon as he's out, he kind of lets his hands down. He's got kind of a grin on his face, kind of looking at you toward here, and he's like, "Good show, good show. Yes, I think you will do well. Here, come with me back into the shed here. Best to discuss these things out of the way of potential prying eyes." And he kind of turns from you all, kind of heads back towards the cargo shed here. Kind of motions for you to follow him.
Toto will follow.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, same.
All right. So he kind of lets you all. You kind of all follow him in here, and he continues a little ways back across, and you hear him kind of open a door to like a side room in here. It looks to be some sort of office of sorts. You see some various kind of record books and things for the cargo and stuff that comes in and out of here. But he heads in here. I assume you all follow him in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
You follow him in there. He shuts the door behind you there. Says, all right. I'll put in a word for you. Try to get you into an upcoming fight. I know that's just you two, the business boys or whatever that you wanted to be called, that were doing the fighting. What are the rest of you as cheerleaders or something?
Or something.
All right. Well, it's a little more difficult to get a couple extras in, but I guess if you're going to be there in the stands and make some noise, then, well, I guess that'll probably be good enough. Add to the entertainment. Well, I'll need to talk to some connections first, you understand. The next one, I believe, is in a few days from now. I can't tell you where it's at. Location is a secret, but what I can tell you, if you've met with Ott, I assume you know about the bakery in the dock ward.
Great place.
Fucking goddamn right, we do bakeries are the shit. I'll start puffing my pipe.
Alright. Well, what you'll need to do is go to that bakery, ask for Ott, and he will be able to take you where you need to go. Blindfolded, of course. Can't have you knowing too much, but we can at least get you down there for the fight, for the entertainment. And you'll get your shot at glory, as it were.
Sounds good to me.
Alright. And if you... Yeah, in the 3 days from now, let's say in the evening, 7 or so. Not just as the sun's going down. Head to that bakery, and we'll take care of you.
Alright, bakery at sunset. Appreciate the opportunity to beat some ass and do some business.
Well, if all goes well for you, then, well, you may be certainly rolling in the coins of a business. Good luck to you.
And to you, we will see you then.
Alright. So you guys take your leave and find yourself back out on the docks. Nights come along. Yes, sun's fully gone down now. Anything else you guys want to get up to down here tonight? You got a couple days, it sounds like, to prepare for whatever you're wanting to do once you get in there. You know, there is more that you want to do in there than just try to fight. So you have a couple days to plan the rest of the crew.
No, I have things I need to get up to for the next few days. Right, so.
Okay. What do you got to get up to?
I need to find an animal dealer that will sell me either a Tressum or a pseudo dragon.
Okay.
And then I need to find an enchantment to increase the speed of time of my fermentations in the basement.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see.
After I did that prank, my weasel never came back, so I'm assuming it's dead.
I was trying to remember what happened to the weasel. It's been a while.
I think it got killed because it never came back. I rolled poorly for it.
I think it
and
had. I can't remember exactly because that was a while ago. Yeah, but in terms of a tressum, while they're not super common, there is or like you recall hearing of or perhaps even like seeing, walking past at some point around where the Blackstaff Tower, where you've had done some research and looked into some things before. You recall seeing like a shop somewhere in that area around the Blackstaff Tower that seemed to have animals of various kinds, seemed to kind of cater to, like the sorcerers and wizards and things that are in Blackstaff Tower, kind of for those kind of familiar purposes. That might be that might be a place to check out, see if they have a tressum or a cedar dragon.
Oh, he has to cast his Find Familiar spell in the shop, and whichever one bonds with him is his.
Okay. Yeah, you could certainly go check that out in the morning, sure. And then, if you're looking for something with your concoctions and stuff, that would, Blackstaff Tower would probably be a good place to look for that sort of thing, too, so.
Seems to be where Mix always is Blackstaff Tower.
Well, it is kind of slated for that kind of thing, so. Useful location.
I have 6 pages of notes of stuff I've found and done at Blackstaff Tower.
Damn. Wow. Alright. So aside from Mix looking into getting a cool magical cat and whatnot, what kind of things are the rest of you kind of looking into? You got this inroad to this lair that you've been trying to get into, that you're trying to prepare for. And aside from that, there's this fight ring down there that Torda and Boo are kind of getting you all in there on their coattails. You don't know too much else but about what's down there beyond that. You don't know what it looks like. You don't know what the layout is. You don't know what sort of stuff might be there. I mean, Xanathar is supposedly down there, and he's a beholder, which is not so great if you get on his bad side. But aside from him, you don't really know what else to expect. But you got a few days. So it might be a good time to poke around.
Who could we question that wouldn't get us put under suspicion?
Indeed. Well, and in terms of, there are some Xanathar people that you do know, but, like you said, talking to them might arouse some suspicions. Ott, for example. But, throughout all of this, Mert has given you guys a fair bit of info, and maybe he knows some more that you could, or maybe he knows someone who knows a little more, or where to look. He seems to have been around the block quite a few times in all the nooks and crannies of this town. So, he'd probably be a decent place to start, since he's the one who kind of set you down this in the first place.
Makes sense to me.
All right. Well, you all make your way back to Troll Skull for the night. Things are wrapping up down on the, well, things are still kind of in full swing actually on the first floor when you guys get there. It's, it's after dark, but that's prime time for your sort of establishment. Fair number of customers inside you guys see as you guys are coming up the road.
I'm in a good mood, so I go making a night of like doing dumbass magic tricks to impress people while getting too drunk.
All right. So, as the rest of you kind of, turn into your various places, Boo, you kind of go hang out in the bar and try to entertain the guests that are there a bit. And, about this, with the time of the month that is, it's kind of about the time that you usually would kind of get your payout of things. And, Boo, you hanging out with the patrons down there seem to have let the pockets flow a little bit tonight. People were entertained by your little tricks and things that you were doing, and especially if they had a few drinks in them. And that added, I'd say that added a little bit extra onto you guys' earnings here. Let's see. Let me just do a little. Where's my little sheet about that? Let's see here. Oh, there's still a bunch of cash in here from the last payout. I'll distribute that after I add in this next bit here. Okay. So, with the tavern running, a little bit extra on top from Boo's shenanigans here, I'd say you guys earned... Comes out to... You guys came out to about 600 gold coming in after expenses and paying the staff, things like that. It's a little bit more than you guys had last time, so let me just put that in here. And let me distribute this across y'all. There you go. Y'all got about just about 225 gold pieces a piece from the stuff that was already sitting in the party sheet and some extra from tonight. Extra pocket change.
Yeah, so I was a definite liability then, because I probably just excited about doing business. I probably got everybody really drunk on my dime.
Well, I mean, it kind of would have been anyways because it's your own tavern. So.
I know that's the worst thing a tavern owner can do. Haven't you watched Bar Rescue?
All right. Well, let's see. With where we are, we're going to take our little 10-minute break to get up, stretch your legs, take a whiz, do what you got to do. And we will start back in 10 in the morning with about 3 days to go until some shenanigans ensue. So, we'll be back in 10. All right. Oh, hello, Coco. Speaking of cats, come on up, buddy.
He was sleeping in Pumpkin's spot.
Come here. There you go. Hey. All right. So another morning in Waterdeep here. Boo, you're maybe having a little bit of a hangover from having a bit of fun last night down with the rest of the patrons in the bar. But hey, you got some extra coin out of it, so worth it, I guess. Oh, Mix, I assume you're heading out trying to find yourself a familiar?
Oh yeah, I'm already gone. I need a familiar and a way to speed up time for my potions and everything I work on in the basement.
Okay. All right. So you, Mix, you kind of head over towards the familiar Black Staff Tower area of Waterdeep. And you're kind of looking around the streets around there, trying to see if you can remember where that shop that you had seen that seemed to be, kind of an animal type shop was at. And eventually you do come across the one you think you remember here. It's about a block or two away from Blackstaff. And you can kind of see from the front window, at least, you see a couple of birds of various kinds, like some parrots and some uh, cockatoos and things like that in some cages right out towards the front in the window where they can kind of see outside. But you step in and have a fairly decent variety in the shop of animals. Like you walk in and you're kind of course, hit with like that kind of animal scent that you get like going to like a pet shop type thing. And looking around, you see some pens. There's some dogs. There's cats and other cat-like creatures. There's birds, lizards, small mammals. Kind of rodent adjacent things. You don't right away obviously see a Tressum, at least up in the front here, but I mean, you could certainly ask the guy, see if that's something they have somewhere. It's a decently sized shop. It's not all right here in the front.
I'll walk up to the guy and be like, I'm looking to purchase a Tressum or a Pseudo Dragon as a familiar.
Okay. So he kind of looks you over a little bit and he says, "Ah, another student of Blackstaff coming to get a familiar, is it?"
I'm not a student. I regularly find what I need there, but I'm already skilled in magic.
Oh, my apologies, sir. A Tressum or Pseudo-Dragon. Well, I can't say that I have any Pseudo-Dragons at the moment, but I do happen to have a couple of Tressums that you could look over. Here, come with me to kind of the back here. We kind of let them roam a little freer back there to kind of make sure their wings stay stretched out. They don't like to get cooped up too much. So he kind of leads you through a door to like another half of the store. Um, and a lot of the critters that are in here are kind of out and about. There's a couple other kind of larger dogs that are around, just kind of hanging out. And you see, looking up, like the ceiling's a little higher here than it was in the front part, but there's a few like perches um, hanging down from the rafters of the ceiling. And you do see a couple of Tressums up there. Let's see. There's some Tressums. All three of them seem a little small, a little smaller than your usual house cat size. They're all kind of tabby type coloring, not any like really specific, obvious like cat breed. The proprietor of the shop kind of looks up at them and says, "This was they're from a litter about a month or two ago. They're still pretty young, so they're not their full size quite yet. Well, they look a little smaller than normal, but they'll grow. Um, they've been here for a week or two. Um, they grow pretty quickly though. Little magical beasts.
Mix will kind of coo to him and see if any come down to him so he can bond it.
Okay. All right. So you kind of call up towards these tressums up here, and two of them, at least like the one, three in that picture there, like the one in the middle and the one on the right, like they seem to be kind of preoccupied uh, with each other. One of them, they're both kind of like cleaning each other off, licking each other, giving each other a bath right now. But the one with kind of the orange hues in his wings and in his fur, he kind of cocks his head a little bit and kind of looks down at you from his perch, and you see him kind of step off this little like perch stand they have up there, and he kind of a little awkwardly, but he manages to make it. He still seems like he maybe doesn't have the full grasp of flight down pat yet, but he kind of flits down with his wings and lands on a kind of chair nearby with kind of a little thumph. Uh, didn't slow himself quite enough on the down on the downfall there, but he kind of sits on the chair and kind of sits up on his kind of pulls his hind legs up in under him and kind of sits up, stares at you.
Mix will walk over and scratch his ears and just be like, "Hey, do you want to be mine?"
And the Tressum starts purring and kind of rubs up against your hands here. Kind of lets you, get some rubs in on its head and like down its back, and he especially likes, seems to especially like some attention kind of on where his like wings meet his back. Um, it seems to be a good scritchy spot for him. But yeah, he seems to take a liking to you.
I'll look at the shop owner and be like, "Can I go ahead and do the familiar spell?" And as you probably know, it takes an hour. I'm willing to go ahead and pay for it.
Yes, certainly. We see a lot of visitors from Blackstaff coming here for familiars. For the Tressum, let's see. Let me see how much that would be.
They're expensive. I think they're like 400 or 500 gold.
I think so. Let me see.
Oh, 350.
Yep, that's what I'm seeing as well. 350 for Tressum. Yeah, we'll go with that then. So yeah, 350 for the Tressums.
So Mix is going to pull out this ivory dragon chest set that he's been hiding from Jinku. That's worth 500 gold. And he'll be like, "This is, I had this appraised. It's valued at 500 gold. I'll give you this if you give me 100 gold back, and you'll make 50. Does that sound good? 50 extra above the trestle."
All right. So he kind of looks over this this chest set that you pulled out here and kind of admiring it here and says, yeah, I can see that seems like a fair price to me for the make and quality of the materials here. It's a deal. I'll take you up on that."
So I'll just go ahead and add 100 gold and start casting my familiar spell. If anybody wants to do anything, I have to sit here for a while in concentration.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and add that to your inventory there and do that. So it mixes off here getting a some cat wings. What are the rest of you up to here?
plotting world domination.
Training for this upcoming fight.
Okay. All right,
Got the
Zara,
kids.
Jinku.
Got the kids out kicking their butt.
Get the kids out. Zara, Jinku, what are you two up to here? I mean, with this, plan to get into the Xanathars, I mean, you guys are kind of along for the ride, supposed entourage of sorts of the mighty and wonderful businessmen on their quest for punching domination. But of course, there are other motives at play here, getting into the Xanathar lair. So, what would you two be up to kind of get ready for this? Like, what kind of things are you guys thinking of doing when you're in there?
I don't know, man.
Shinku's not smart enough to plan it. She'll just do whatever Zyara tells her.
And Zyra doesn't really know what to do with any of this fight ring stuff, so.
Well, I mean, not like with the fight ring itself. I mean, you guys are going in there to try to get this last piece of the eye, the last eye to go in the Stone of Galore. And Zyra, you being coming from a somewhat thievy background, surely you got some things you do to prepare for that sort of thing.
Well, we kind of want to, like the bugbear, we kind of got to make this a show, so we probably got to kind of make, to look as showy as we can. Like, did kind of have one idea.
Okay, shoot.
Maybe I don't know how we're gonna do this, but like when we come in, who's this guy? Maybe we can like, when they come out, like him in a box, like containing him, to make him look like he is so much more dangerous than he is. And like have me bring the box out because I'm big. Just to kind of add to the illusion that these two are like really big badasses. I don't know how we're gonna do that, but just an idea that popped in my head.
Okay.
Because we gotta curry some favor and like really make these guys OPs. Like we gotta make this bigger than the fight ring we were in.
Mm-hmm.
They can't just this fight. They gotta make a show.
Mm-hmm. And if they're making a show once they're out there, that potentially gives you guys some openings to try to poke around.
Right. So if we can make them like this big spectacle, that's gonna help us slip away.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like it. So you said your idea is like bringing them out in some sort of like crate or a cage or something, like there's some sort of dangerous psychopath or something.
Like sometimes I'll like maybe like a wrestler who could potentially come out like a straight jacket. Oh god, you can't let them loose till like it's time because I'll fucking kill somebody.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're going for.
We gotta make them look like they are batshit crazy to add to this illusion that like they belong there and that this is gonna be a good fight.
Okay.
Whether that be like, oh, like they're in a box or something, like, and maybe not them contained in the same way.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
Do you have any kind of like spells, Riz, or there that help with like disguising or anything that could help with that?
You're gonna have to check my character sheet because my laptop died.
Oh, your laptop battery died. I was wondering why that disconnected. Let me take a look here. Well, let's see. You've got. You've got minor illusion. You've also got. So that could help with visual stuff. And some sound as well. But on the sound thing, you've also got thaumaturgy. You cantrip that kind of manifests a minor wonder or sign of supernatural power. So, like booming voice, making flames flicker, making there be harmless tremors, sounds, things to fly open or shut.
Because we only have to keep it up for like their patrons.
Yeah. Like you have disguise self, but that's just on self. Then you have invisibility, pass without a trace. That's more for your own stuff. So yeah, mainly looks like the minor illusion and the thaumaturgy for trying to do some sort of little like entrance thing to try to sell. Ooh, you know.
Well, I have some spells that could help with something like that. Perhaps uh, in order to make them seem more imposing than their small sizes would show, we could have it seem like every step they take causes a tremor.
It
would
was
definitely go
cold.
really far.
Let's go. I was in the pool.
I don't know, maybe even like figure out costuming for them that somehow makes them look menacing too. I mean, every little thing we can do just really puts on the illusion. And we know that they can put on a good fight and a good show, but just whatever we can do to amplify that.
Yeah.
Does this sound like a good? Ooh, Torta, are you? I'm sorry, I don't want you guys to do this if it's not if you don't agree with it. I just thought it maybe would sound like a good idea.
It works for me.
Mix might even be able to create some sort of fire potion that you could throw for special effects as they walk in.
Pyrotechnics.
Pyrotechnics
I can't
and
do a
boomy
fire.
steps.
I can do boomy steps. I can clap every time you step.
Well,
and do
Zyara could do boomy steps, but
If you can't do fire, then what the hell do we keep you around arms?
I could create a potion that they could drop and break, and it would
that's what I
create
was saying, a fire potion.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
an ominous smoke rolls out in front of them.
Well,
You do
that
that
works
first.
too.
Ooh, yeah, there you go.
It takes a month. That's why I need the time spell.
Oh,
But if I can find something that does like increases time to where I could do like a month and a day, oh yeah, I can do that easily. It's kind of what I'm looking for. A month and a day spell.
I mean, if you're just going for like some sort of smoke sort of something, I'm sure you could. I'm sure there's some stuff you could whip up just for like that doesn't have like a month preparation time. I don't know what spell in particular you're trying to do there, but
I can get the materials from the lady across the street. I can't remember her name because it's been so long, and I don't feel like looking through all my notes. But yeah, I can get all the materials from her, but it takes a month to distill. But that's why I'm looking for the time thing, so I can put potions and stuff to cure inside the time bubble.
Okay. Curious if that kind of things would even be that. I'm not sure if there's. Let's see here.
There's the space that wizards and stuff can create.
Yeah, I think that there is. I mean, at least for just like a cursory
Ooh.
search here, um, something like uh, some sort of access to a different like plane on another like time stream is possible. So you could
I
like
saw it was possible. That's why I'm suggesting it. I just didn't know what it would take. Like, I know they have to enchant a valuable item, and I have it picked out.
Let's see. That's a good question.
I have a very valuable gold amulet with a red crystal rune inserted into it. Worth quite a lot. It's 250 gold.
Now, it looks like there are some. Like, you would likely have to, like, find someone that is a wizard, specifically a chronomancer.
Yeah, which they would have a black staff. So
Yeah, which you might be able to probably find something at Blackstaff, because like from what it sounds like what you're looking for, at least from what I'm finding from this, like I found somebody's little like supplement for like chronomancy or whatever, and at least from the way that they laid it out, like some kind of temporal bubble thing is like an 8th level chronomancy spell, so they have to be a pretty adept chronomancer to be able to do something like that.
I thought it was 9th, so
I mean, it might like this is just like from some like random supplement that I just found, since it's not like base 5e. I'm sure there's probably other ones where they have it as 9th, but
yeah, the one that I found,
8th or 9th, it's still pretty high high level.
yeah, and they can enchant the item, and it's usually, if I'm reading my charts right that I pulled up, these are charts I found online.
Okay.
It's 500 gold to enchant the item.
Okay. Okay.
But you have to provide an item of value. It has to be a high quality item. And so I figured a gold amulet with ruby runes would fall into that, and then I can create smoke that spouts lightning out of it for them.
Well, that would be pretty badass. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd say, yeah, we could probably find someone at Blackstaff that is adept in these kind of things, and yeah, I'm sure if you paid them enough, they could enchant something like that for you. Yeah, I'd say that that's feasible.
Well, I'll pick up my Chessum, my new familiar, which would hopefully be purring in my arms as it's like curled up in my arms, and walk to Blackstaff to get this done.
You figured out what you're gonna name him?
Is it a him or a her? It's up to you.
Well, you know what? Let me roll and we'll see what it is. Let's see. We'll say even it's a guy, odds it's a girl. Roll a 3. It's a girl.
Trance.
Trance. Nice. I like it. Trance the Tressum.
Well, I'll name her Trance Gemini, but we'll call her Trance for short.
Trance Gemini. Okay. Very cool. I like it. All right.
As I'm walking into Blackstaff, I'm going to be combing the Tressum out with a golden dragon comb. So I'm going to be running that through her fur.
Nice. Well, Trance likes that very much. All right, so Mix is heading into Blackstaff here. Well, I guess, I mean, technically you wouldn't know about the... Well, I guess you were already looking into the time bubble thing anyway, so you were already looking into that. You just wouldn't know about the smoke stuff. So you're looking into that. So yeah, costume-wise, that's something you could probably have, like, the kids help you with, actually, if you're trying to make some, like, some sort of get-up for them to wear for this. So I mean, if your idea right now is, you know, having some in some sort of box they bust out of, they're super dangerous. We got this smoke with like lightning. We got tremors. We got all this stuff. Like, what are we wanting the businessmen to pop out looking like, given all this other rigmarole that you got going on? Just pop out in a suit.
That would be very, very disorienting, I think. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you've got
Some
to.
people that fight, they're like, what is going on?
Yeah, we don't want to confuse the patrons. Gotta tell them a story here. Put on a good show.
Well, I think in our heads it'll be like we're in suits and, you know, there's smoke rolling out and there's a whole, you know, 45 speech like playing in the background and everything. But in reality, it's more like, you know, the suits are kind of like coming apart at the seams and the smoke isn't all that great, you know, and it's a 45 speech playing in the background.
I was thinking of like painting Boo's mask blood red and giving Torta fangs.
Loincloth.
There's something, you know. I mean, you know, both of you are, you know, kind of on the rarer side of things when it comes to, uh, you know, being a grung and a simic hybrid. I mean, you know, Waterdeep's a, you know, pretty melting pot kind of city, but there's not a whole lot of people like either of you. So I mean, that on its own, like, you got kind of the curiosity factor of that.
So we may look as cool as we look in our own mind, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like,
You can wear whatever you want, it's not matter.
yeah, like, you know, people don't really see a whole lot of grungs. I mean, like, I mean, most of them kind of stay to themselves, like way down south. You know, not too many of them come up this way, and then, you know, simic hybrids. I mean, I feel like that's kind of in the same boat. But yeah, I mean, like just by being what you are alone, even without anything else, is already kind of like, ooh, what the heck? Like, what the heck are these guys? But yeah, you could certainly like add on to that. On top of all this other, the smoke and the sounds and the tremors and the things. But yeah, I mean, at least to like these patrons of an underground fight ring run by a crime lord. Yeah, like you guys are probably gonna end up looking as cool as you think you look.
Hey, there's always that. I need something in my life.
Get out really bold and just butt naked.
I already do that. I make us look cool just by jumping in the way I do.
Hey, it would really, really like play into the whole like they're unpredictable, dangerous guys. That whole look we're going for.
I mean, yeah, I guess that would be kind of along those lines.
And I mean, ultimately, you guys got to decide costumes
Yeah.
or ref.
I think suits and like your idea is gonna work. We look badass.
Well, I mean, then like with even if it is kind of like like what the heck? I mean, it does make it kind of interesting because I mean, like I said, you're in like this underground ring run by a crime lord, and you come out with all these pyrotechnics and sounds and stuff, and you step out in like a nice suit in where you are, like and you're a grung and a simic hybrid, like what, like people are gonna be like wanting to know what's going on, like asking questions, wanting to see what happens. Like what are these two weird looking dudes coming down here in a suit to fight?
It's going to be disorienting in the way that we need it to, so that the rest of us can slip away how we need to.
Yeah.
Can my suit be like a tracksuit and I just rip it off when I land?
I mean, if you
Do
want,
whatever you want.
that's up. Like, it's up to you. You guys are the ones that are getting in there, to kind of do the show and be the distraction, um, while the rest of you try to find some more information about what's down here in this place.
What color tracksuit?
It can be the business suit. It just needs to be able to rip off because clothing, ew. Torta runs around in his skin.
I love it. I love it.
It'll just have like Velcro seams, like all the seams will be, so you can just. All right, this sounded like an interesting plan. Just being like a weird spectacle to draw the eyes.
Oh, who can make a potion
Might
of
be
giant
crazy
growth?
enough to work.
Oh, yeah, that could be something.
Enlarge. That's enlarge. That's what I meant. I was thinking Magic the Gathering. My fault. But yeah, enlarge. That would be cool.
That takes a month, so I have to find the spell.
Okay.
I mean, can I just buy the potion?
Yeah, and large, I would say you could probably like buy one.
Or like one of you wizard? Oh, never mind. I don't really like the idea of casting magic on me.
I can make it for you for 3 gold, or you can go out and spend 500 gold on it.
Oof. That's a pretty significant difference. Ouch.
Probably our most costly heist we've ever done.
Well, I mean, hey, it's the last one for the key to the frickin' horde of some
I know,
embezzling
but usually we're just like,
wacko.
yeah, fuck it, we'll wing it.
Well, I think I'm ready. The next thing we need to do is just binge drink until it's time for this, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can. So, I mean, so it sounds like we have like a pretty good plan of the like distraction side of things, trying to keep everybody's attention on the spectacle in the ring with you two. So, for the rest of you, though, um, like what's kind of the plan for the sneaky half? Because I mean, you guys don't know anything about this lair, where it is, what's in it, what its layout is. Like, this isn't a building you can just go saunter up to on the street, like that ball forever ago that you guys scoped out. Um, nobody really knows where this is. Um, that will, tell you.
Well, I have all the components to make Essence of Ether. I just have to have the time, hence the spell.
Yeah. What's the essence of ether? Which one's that one?
Hold on. It requires a DC 15 Constitution, or you're knocked out for 8 hours. And I can just break the vial in front of your face.
Okay.
You know, I have something similar that takes less time. It's called my fist.
Anyway, Mix is going to go into Black Stuff and see if he can find this spell.
Okay.
How
I
did
would.
that work out for you, Jinku, with the wizard dude that kidnapped you?
Fair.
Don't punch him, Jinku. It's a trap.
So Mix, I would say, at Blackstaff, it probably takes you a little bit, like asking around. Um, people versed in like this kind of magic are a little on the rarer side. Um, but you eventually get some information from one of the people in the library there. There's somebody they know who studies those kind of arts, and they give you the address for this person. It's not too far away. It's like maybe like a mile or so north of Blackstaff, where the guy supposedly lives. But they say, if you're looking, trying to look into chronomancy type magic, he'd probably be one of the few people in the area that could help you with something like that.
Oh, Mix will go. And he'll just walk in and be like, "Hello, sir." And tell him exactly what he needs. The faster time moves in the bubble, the better.
Okay. So yeah, you head out to the guy's address. It's like uh, it's a fairly like nondescript house, nothing like super fancy or anything. And you knock on the door, and um, after you kind of explain yourself to him, he lets you inside. Um, it's pretty cozy in here. Definitely a wizard's sort of home. Books kind of stacked all over the place. on shelves or sometimes in piles next to chairs. And he has quite a number of like interesting kind of mechanisms, kind of clockwork mechanisms. Some of them hanging from the ceiling, kind of spinning and or kind of ticking away in various ways. You kind of explain what you're looking for. Trying to get some sort of temporal bubble on this amulet to kind of help with your alchemical work. And yeah, he agrees. For a fee, I think you'd said, what it was like 500 or something, right? Is what you were seeing.
Yeah, 500 gold for the spell if I provided all the materials, which I believe I have on me.
Yeah, I think it looks like you do. Yeah. But yeah, for the 500 gold, you know, he's um, he's willing to help you out for the sake of chemical research and studies that you're doing, and we'll cast this for you on this little amulet of yours that you brought.
Mix will thank him, and he'll go back to Troll Skull. I believe it takes an hour to cast a spell, so he'll head back and find out what he needs to be doing.
Okay. All right. So you make sure you get back to Troll Skull, and you find the other four kind of all down, or they're all kind of around the table upstairs in kind of the big central room, kind of tossing out ideas about this about the plan here. Um, Talking about what sort of fun sounds and things are going to be made. Yeah, sounds like things are coming together a bit. Um,
Well, once Mix hears what he needs to do, he'll look at Jinko and be like, "Hey, can you watch her for a little bit?" And he'll hand her Rami with the dragon go. Just better with this. I gotta go work.
Jingu's eyes will light up.
Ringu has been waiting for this moment her whole life.
She has been. All her training has been for this moment.
all right, Jinku, you raise the golden comb over this kind of orange hued striped tressum in your arms here. It's watching your hand with the comb very intently. Its eyes are wide, its pupils are huge. It's kind of like just got his eyes right on you there. And you kind of slowly lower this comb, and you comb the cat. It goes great. Just instantly, like as soon as this comb touches this tressum, just starts just purring like crazy. Like even before you started moving it, it's just like yes. And you're moving this up and down this thing, and like every once in a while, it kind of like flutters its wings a little bit, which is kind of fun. Um, I mean, like you haven't really seen something like this before. I mean, you've seen plenty of cats, but cat with wings, that's something new. Um, it is an interesting experience.
Cool. We're gonna go curl up in the corner and take a nap.
Ringu has the right priorities.
All right. Well, I think.
Have to rest up for the heist.
Yeah, gotta stuff for the heist. Okay, so the only other main question that I want to ask is just the sneaking around half that the three of you are doing. Like, you got plans to bonk people in the face. You got this ether or whatever. Um, like, what's the game plan for you three to try to get the most information you can out of this place?
bold of you to assume we have a plan.
Right. Well,
Well, I mean, so
I
Zai,
don't
I know you
know.
can't see your stuff right now since your laptop died. But I mean, you've got you know invisibility. You know pass without a trace. You know which one's this one? You know blink, and you know dimensional door. Um, so you have some interesting things at your disposal, at least from Zai's side of things, that could be useful here in getting around. So I mean,
I can hit people in the head.
so since this is really like your first time down there, is the end goal of this to try to like just find as much information about like the space and like potentially like where it could be, and then like with that information come back to specifically try to get the eye, or is the goal to try to go in even without having really any information there to just try to find the eye and go.
I mean, I think in Zyara's mind, considering we're going in blind, I think her goal would be that they need to just have this be solely an information gathering trip. Because, I mean, obviously, Boo and Torta are not going to say no to fighting multiple times if needed. And uh, she doesn't want to risk their safety by being too bold and trying to do everything in one go when they don't even know what this place looks like.
While I agree with that, we have to consider that we may not have a chance to come back.
Well,
I mean,
that's what the mission is for. Try to find another entrance. Try to find some way we can get a tunnel into there, something, so that we can come back, so that you have your strongest two fighters
but
available.
but the mere fact that we don't know walking into may mean that we may find that there is no opportunity to come back.
Yeah, I mean
We may
that all depends. Like
Well,
you
and
don't.
if we find out that that's
we
the
may
case,
find
then
that like we have to find it then and there. We may find that shit there's not going to be an opportunity to come back. We have to find out.
well, yeah, and if that happens to be the case, then well, we come up with a plan B and just do it then. But at least how
Right.
Zyara sees it is the priority and plan A should be get as much information as possible and find an
Yes.
alternate entrance.
But I think we should be as prepared for plan B before we get there as we can in case we need to, initiate it.
Can Mix prepare a flame anus flask to hand to guards if we get caught?
A what
Prepare
flask?
a what?
Yeah, I heard flame anus, and I'm very concerned.
That's what I
Yes.
heard too.
I know that he did not say either of those things, but
No, it's 100 gold. It's 100
no,
GP
please
post.
say the name again first.
Flame anus. Basically, I can hand them the flask if they drink it. The poison requires a DC 15 con saving throw. On a failure, the target takes 5d6 fire damage and expels flame from the anus and a 15-foot cone behind them.
The fuck are you finding this shit?
We get fire diarrhea.
Okay, so it was exactly what we heard. Okay.
Well, it's not what I heard.
Yeah, Jinku heard flame penis.
Oh,
but,
I heard flame anus, and I was like, wait, really? Is that what he said?
That is indeed what he said.
Alrighty then.
There, I posted
These things.
Danwix. It's I just posted it in the Dragon Heist chat.
Oh. Oh, that's great. Holy cow.
Oh, I'm serious. Like, it causes them to basically shoot flames out of their anus.
Well, I mean,
Oh, look at
at
that.
least you would hope that at least if you give these to them, that they don't, turn around in the wrong direction and you roast yourself from their own petard. So.
No, we just have Jinku pick them up and aim their anus in the right direction.
I get a fire baton.
Oh my god, this gets so wild. Holy moly.
Oh, this is gonna be bad if we
So
have to
And
employ this.
aim their anus. The things that we hear in D&D.
Oh my
Aim
god.
the flaming anus.
I found it on D&D Wiki. I'm serious.
That's-
I posted.
Oh,
I know. I just
I
looked at it,
believe
it made me
you.
very happy.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
I 100% believe you, but oh my lord.
So
Oh.
is flaming A plan B?
Oh wow, that's great.
If we're not able to
Plan
talk
B.
them out of it, I'll make a flask of like expensive whiskey with flame anus in it.
You know what?
We're just gonna have to carry it.
Sayara is
flat.
All for this fucking plan. Yes.
I want to see it. I want to see this.
Operation Flame Anus is a go.
Can we just change A to this?
I don't know. That might be a stretch.
Yeah, that might go up in a little more flames than you want if that's plan A.
This is
But
Operation.
it sounds so wonderful.
This is Plan A.5.
I mean, imagine Jinku with somebody in her arms aiming their anus at people and shooting a cone of fire out of their ass.
And
mean,
that's a
you
pretty
don't-
great image.
You don't have to convince Sai. She likes it, but
Wow, this planning just took like an immediate left turn.
Oh man.
I know this says that it's an April Fool's game content, but I mean, come on, this would be hilarious.
I mean, yeah, I mean, personally, I don't really care what it's from. If it sounds cool, I'm gonna go for it. So.
All I can see on my head is Jinku holding a guy with flames coming out his ass and using it on the end.
Well, while the potions that Mix needs to cure are in the dimensional bubble, he'll go out and buy it. I'm sure you can find it somewhere.
This is such an expensive.
well, then it's a good thing we have a shit ton of money.
Yeah, it's
So
good.
we have a successful business.
Yeah, it's a good thing I have a successful business to fund these kind of exorbitant expenditures. Oh man.
Can I take the amethyst stone out of the party sheet, please? It's half the cost of this
Yeah,
thing.
we using it.
Yeah, I mean, if there's stuff in the party sheet you want to grab, feel free, because I think some of that stuff's just been in there for a while. So feel free to yoink some of those gems and other things.
I
that are
don't
in there.
even did all this shit. Oh, was this from that when we did that tower where I got kidnapped? That's the last time we got.
I think there was.
I mean,
I think there was stuff.
We got
from
a lot of
there.
stuff from there.
There was a lot of stuff that you got from that this is a long time ago, but like that dungeon you guys did for Mert, where the whole ivory thing started, the
There's
Blue Alley
candles
dungeon.
in here.
There was a bunch of loot that you guys got out of there. Yeah, there's been stuff chilling in that party sheet for a while.
Oh, dude, I hate to tell you this. There's our essence of ether in there, man.
Oh yeah, there are 2 essences of ether in there. How
There's
about
two.
that?
You didn't have to.
Oh, so that's fine. I'll just make the potion for what Torta and Boo are going to use as a distraction even stronger.
There you go.
And I took 3 gemstones. I'm going to go ahead and delete them out of my party sheet.
That's fine.
Mix will just know where to go to get this. Let's just say that.
I believe it. That works. All right.
Hey, there's some alchemist sphere in there. That might come in handy.
There is.
Grab it.
Last time I had that, I used it to destroy an ivory door, so I couldn't have it. Do we really want me to have that?
I trust you.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I just did sell a 500 gold ivory chest set under your nose, so.
And you know, then of
Fine.
course
Sometimes we
the
have secrets from each other.
there's the book on flump mating rituals that you have for some reason. I don't know how that could play into this, but
How did that get in there?
Because
What are we gonna
Zyara
do
wanted
for the
it.
Candles.
Zyara will take the candles.
30 of them?
Yes.
So let's say a day passes and Mix comes up with all the potions and
yeah,
with the flame anise in his hand, the flame anise flask mixed with the finest whiskey we had behind the bar.
oh man, this is gonna be great.
I can't take this seriously when you say flame anus so much.
Can you, some kind of, Latin twist on it or something?
No, that's the damn name of the spell. That's the potion. Flame anise.
I know, but it's really hard not laugh at the name.
Oh man. Oh, these heists in this campaign, these just get so wacky sometimes. I love it.
Wacky, creative.
And create like that's the fun of it with these heist things. It's just you can really come up with some just way out there plans beyond just go in, poke guy with sharp object.
Okay, I'll take the 2 essence of ether and I'll give this. I forgot what it's called. I don't feel like looking it up. But basically, I'll hand it to Boo. Torta can't be trusted with this kind of thing. Smash this on the ground when you come out of the box. Trust me. It'll be worth it. It's basically going to be a loud thunderclap followed by lightning firing all across the room. It won't hit anybody. And a ominous black smoke that pulses with her steps.
That sounds pretty fucking cool. Nice.
Is there anything else in this party sheet that might have some of this heist?
We could take the phrase book and start spouting off random phrases to sound like idiots.
Oh, Jink would need a phrase book for that.
Well, it's just
Ooh.
it's a phrase for speaking Dwarvish. It's like a tourist Dwarvish guide.
There's 7 potions of healing if Torta and Boo want to take those for their fights.
Yeah, those might be useful to have
Yeah.
in your pockets.
Yeah,
Some
'cause,
extra potions healing
Zyara's
around.
not going to be around to help that with that.
I'd recommend you 2 divide those up and take them.
Good call.
All right.
And we have 6 spell books. Good God.
A lot of that was from the wizard tower.
Pot of paint, paper, 30 things of paper.
I think there were some rooms in there where we were just like, we loot the whole room.
There were
Yeah,
some
we
some
took
rooms in
some
that
really
wizard tower
stupid
that you were
shit.
just like yoink everything. Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah,
All right.
didn't Boo take that guy's underwear?
Yes, we did take his underwear.
Yep. Among other things, yeah, you did, and his fancy cloak and everything else.
Okay, I can't find the Flame Anus within Fantasy Grounds. So
It's
just
not going to
roll
be in there since that's like some third party like joke content. But I mean, it seems kind of like
Come on, I'm gonna tell Jinku to pick up the dude farting flames out of his ass and aim him. If I have to use
And
this.
you know he's not even gonna question it. He's just gonna do it.
Well, yeah. I mean, since it's not like in here program, like if it comes to that, we'll roll however things got to roll for flames coming out of someone's ass. We'll figure it out. Man. All right. Well, given that it is pretty much 10, and we have a decent, interesting plan A and B for how this is going to go down, we'll probably call that good there for tonight. This is going to be a time. Interested to see how this goes down. So yeah, thank you all for
Probably
coming.
badly.
I know it's been a hot second. Let's see. I know. Hold on. Let me double check when. Like what? Because I know the next one's just fine because that's still like February, but Riz is going to be out of town the beginning of March. I don't know if that's a me Friday or a quick
The next one
Friday.
would fall on March 4th.
Okay, so it's the 25th. Yeah, that's just fine. And then March. Yeah, okay, 4th is fine. It's the next week that Riz is going to be. Okay, so that's a quick week, so that's fine. Okay. I think that's actually yeah. I think that's the week we start back, the 11th or something. That's when our Edgewatch one starts back up.
Yep,
I
that's
think.
when Edgewatch is back.
Sweet, nice. We'll have something to do Friday night. Awesome.
So are we playing next Friday or
Oh,
the Friday after?
The Friday after. We're the every other, so it'll be the 25th of February and then the 4th of March. I was just checking since Riz is out of town on the 11th of March, so I wasn't sure if that was a me or a quick Friday. So, but it's not me, so we're good.
Just imagine there is a flying kitten smashing around Joel's skull right now. Like it can't exactly stop, so it's smashing into walls.
Yeah, it is so fierce. The kids are probably gonna love the flying cat. They're gonna love that. That's great.
Zayara is going to knit it a sweater.
But you know what? We have zero rodents at Troll Skull because of all the kitty cats.
It's true.
And
the
to
fact
all of
that
you
we
out there on the
threatened that
stream-
dude if he ever put any rodents near our place again.
To all of you out there on the stream, thanks for coming. Let me see if there's anybody else on here. It looks like Drake's gone. All right. Off to raid Drake.